Last patch didn't seem to land very well, but a quick hot fix by Hi-Rez, I think, should help alleviate a lot of these changes. This is on March 26th. The patch dropped 2 days ago on March 24th. And yeah, they seem to think that there was a few things that needed change. Starting off, God Balance is more of just timings things, Frostbolt's timing, and his auto attacks for Merlin. A lot of people think he's at least a little underwhelming. I think he's fine. He is probably a little bit underwhelming, but again, I think it's not a big deal. But the first big change is in Conquest, Fire Giant is getting reverted. So it is now, instead of 4,500 at start, it's 6,300. And when it spawns, it'll be 12,000 instead of 10,200. So an extra 1,800 health, which is very, very nice. Gold Fury also another 550. Ancient Fury also another weird number, but just about 600 more. And Pyromancer's up also another 450. These just felt like they were spawning too low. There was a lot of things that added into them being like wiped off the map, but they also went and changed some of those things also, which we can look at farther down the line. But W changes there. Really good hot fix on the Conquest map. And now to the item balance. Blink is now down to 210. Still useless. I don't think I'd build this on 90% of gods still. It's just regular Blink at 210 seconds. Yeah, terrible. Terrible, terrible. Sunder, the damage is getting nerfed. Good. I think Sunder's damage became a little too much. It was becoming a little too strong, and it was a PvE and PvP item, while most of the other things are just like good defensive items. So I think this is a good nerf to Sunder. Ancile is getting an issue fixed where it would share cooldown with Height of the Nemean. Big. Erendite is seeing a big nerf down to 50 strength. So now it is 50 strength, 15 cooldown, the same passive for 2550. I still think it is a little strong, but it's starting to become like the more balanced item. I still think it's probably going to be bought in most games as a jungler. Maybe solo laners will go away from Erendite to like Pendulum again or Golden Blade, something like that, because Golden Blade did just get buffed in the last patch. I could see that happening, but this is at least a good start to Erendite. And they've kind of mentioned that they don't want to nerf Erendite's passive too much. So nerfing the stats is the other thing you can really do it, or nerfing the cost. This is a good start. I think I would probably kick the cooldown also down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more on the strength, because it is still pretty inexpensive, but this is at least a good start to the Erendite nerf. Avenging Blade, you could slow and shred non-god targets. Objectives dying quickly, shredding them. Yeah. Okay. Another change to objectives. Braggy's Harp is now doing only 50% of damage to jungle bosses and structures, which is a pretty important thing. And it's the same thing with Sunbeam Bow. 50% damage to structures and jungle bosses. Still going to be really good, but the downside to Braggy's was that you didn't one-shot. Like to Braggy's and Sunbeam Bows, you didn't one-shot. But the upside is you did more objective damage, and it's more consistent. You're not relying on like critting. So I think these are two really good nerfs to both of these items. The last couple changes, Obsidian Shard and Titan's Bane are seeing the exact same change. Their cost is going up 600 gold, 650 gold, sorry, but it's increasing that actual penetration number up. It said 25% in the tooltip, and it was giving 15, so it was wrong. It is now correctly giving that 25%. And it is 3,050 gold or 3,100 for Titan's Bane. So these are just fixing bugs and then increasing the cost, which they wanted to do. I think this is a really good change for both Obshard and Titan's Bane. And then lastly, Warrior's Axe. This is mostly a Cupid nerf. Cupid bought this in ADC. Some other ADCs were building it also. I don't really think this was that good in ADC. Sorry, ADCs were building it in Duo. I don't think it was that good in Duo outside of like survivability characters, where if you are able to stay alive, you can either A, just get back to full health like Cupid can with his 2, or B, you're just not safe enough and you need that extra survivability, like maybe a Zeus. Like Rama with Warrior's Axe, I don't think was very good. Maybe CERN could build Warrior's Axe because he does have a lot of damage, and using your melee autos does feel pretty good. But I don't think this changes too much for solo lane. That 30 base heal and 30 damage, so instead of being a 40 damage, 20 heal, it's now 30 damage, 30 heal. So it's a 60 health swing. It's just switched around a little bit. And then it's also getting 3 less strength. I'm curious to know what this does to solo lane more than anything. For ADC, I think they just go build Boombas. Boombas wasn't touched in this. I think Boombas is still going to be the Autobot item in duo lane. But in solo lane, I'm just curious if, you know, maybe Bluestone just passes up Warrior's Axe. I've also seen a few people trying around with support starters in solo lane because of how iffy solo lane is right now. A lot of the times you're just trying to rotate and make plays around the map, and the best starter to do that is a support starter. I actually did that in a ranked game, and I was the highest farm by a long shot, just because you hit 15 fast, you start getting that extra gold per second. And then you just have a really good statted item at level 15. It feels really good. It's just you're not winning a trade early game into either a Bluestone or a Warrior's Axe character. So as long as you don't expect to win the trade early and you expect to like kind of rotate a lot, I think support starters, mostly Warflag in solo lane, can be really good. But it's also becoming kind of like a clear meta, or it was a clear meta. Maybe it still is a clear meta. So maybe clearing lanes, clearing jungle camps is going to be more important. And so Bluestone is going to have value there. Overall, W patch, a lot of good responses on Twitter, happy with the patch. This is just a mini bonus balance patch, and I think it fixes a lot of the things. I had turned off stream after 4 hours earlier today because I could not play with people sprinting to objectives at 5, and if you aren't there with them, they're killing it in 3 seconds with 3 people. So I'm happy to see a lot of this changed. Some of the stuff I still hope to see maybe even like reverted, like I hope to see combat blink back soon. But yeah, overall not too bad. This is just a quick video just to give my thoughts on the patch. I think it's an A+ patch. It fixes a lot of the issues, but we still have an issue with tanks. I think tank damage is still too high. The survivability isn't that like great, and there's not a ton of nerfs to survivability. The survivability is, you know, pen being higher, but it's more expensive. So maybe they're hoping if you do go more of a damaging solo lane build or support build, you'll just die. I want to see Nemean nerf. Oh, and they did nerf Sunder too, which is a really big thing for solo laners or supports, because it gives them that little extra damage. And by little, it's a lot, but giving them extra damage to be able to get kills. But I think Nemean should see a little nerf. I think maybe Mystical Mail just kick its cost up a little bit. I really don't think that item's that good to really be a threat. And then what's the new item? Runeforged Hammer. That item is just statted too well. The passive is fine. Like, the passive isn't broken, but it's just statted way too well. There it is, the patch notes. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you guys have fun today. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.